Check. Check. Oh, yeah, what's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Mikey Raider, and I'm back. Not on YouTube, but on Twitch. And I'm going live at 4:30 in the morning just to catch you up to date with all the latest Raider news. That's right, this is basically my new Twitch channel. You can read the sign over there. It's Raider Central Live, hosted by Mikey Raider. And I might have a hidden YouTube channel somewhere where I'm going to upload some clips or whatever later. But I can't talk about that because I'm not really on YouTube because they banned me. So I'm not going to have a lot of viewers in this show because I think I only got about 20 or 30 Twitch subscribers. Plus it's 4:30 in the morning. And who's online? Nobody. I don't think I let anybody know that I was actually getting online live right now on Twitch. So maybe I should go and do that on Twitter. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to hope my followers find me sooner rather than later. I got to get on the schedule. I got to go live like every couple days at like 5 p.m. It'll be much better for me. But hey, this is how I live. We got a great show for you guys today. We're going to get you caught up to date on the previous 2 weeks since my last show. But I'm going to let y'all know I'm going to do things a little bit differently since I've been banned by YouTube. And I'm trying to get over my anxiety and my fears. And I'm just tired of PC culture, politically correct, people being woke. I think I'm frustrated with the Raiders organization as a whole, not the team, not the players. Basically, it's like the truth of America. I love my country. I love my country, the idea of it, everything it should stand for, but I despise my government at the moment. I despise everything with politicians and all this other stuff. And today's episode is going to be a doozy. Today's episode is going to be a big, big doozy. All right? I'm going to offend a lot of people today. I don't want to, but I'm going to. A lot of people are going to dislike it. Well, the truth is, it's probably only going to be seen by 50 people. Maybe 100 at most. But that's okay. I'm starting over. God blessed me with trying to start a new channel again on Twitch. God blessed me with another opportunity to go live for my Raider Nation, and we're going to do it. All right, let's quickly talk about this show. This is hopefully a weekly show where I talk about Raiders' latest news, what's going on, the hot topics, the hot takes. We do still have a hotline. Call that hotline the number above me. Leave your rants, leave whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about anything in today's show, you want to talk about next week's game, whatever's going on, whatever you want to do, no holds barred. You can cuss, you can say whatever you want on the hotline. I am no longer going to try to censor people like YouTube censored me. They banned me for spam, scam, and deceptive content. Not even copyright this time. How does that work? But I'm not here to complain about YouTube anymore. F them. I'll figure out a way back. I don't care. All right. Thank you guys for chiming in. We got a big show. Let's just give you a little bit of a preview right now of what's upcoming. Well, first off, we're going to go over the preseason games that just happened. We're going to go over some vaccine news and information about the Raiders Stadium And you're going to get some hot takes from me with that. I'm just going to be honest to myself. A lot of you won't agree. It's okay. We're also going to talk about the Raiders are having tax problems, which possibly proves that Mark Davis was broke and the Raiders are broke. As many months ago we reported on YouTube, a lot of people said they're not broke. Interesting situation going on there. Also, we're going to talk about, is Derek Carr truthfully the best quarterback for the Raiders? My opinion might be changing on Derek Carr. Stay tuned for that. We're also going to break down the roster because some players are going to be cut in the next week. I'm going to give you my predictions of players that are going to be cut by each positional value and players that are probably going to make the team. And we're also going to show you some home video footage of me at the Rams game this past week, and I truly appreciate it. And what else are we going to talk about? Well, you know, KHALIL Mack, maybe? Is he coming back to the Raiders? Is KHALIL Mack coming back to the Raiders? I don't know. Where does Mariota fit with the Raiders? And we're going to get a little bit of a season preview for me. All right, for today's show, because I'm a fat ass, I'm going to do something interesting today. You see this? These are called Cheetos Flamin' Hot Crunchy Cheetos. They hot, they spicy. I'm an old man. I can't eat spicy food that well anymore. I'm not that healthy. I got diabetes too. But I love these things. They kill me, they tear my stomach apart, but I love them. They're hot and crazy and they piss me off, they make me sweat. Every time we talk about a subject that I know is going to piss a lot of people off or make them squirm or cringe with a hot take, I'm going to eat a couple of Cheetos. Every time I believe it's a hot take, something that goes against the mainstream majority, and something that's going to make you guys hot, at my opinion. Every time I make an opinion that's going to make you hot, I'm going to drink and eat these. Oh, wow, I'm going to drink some water, but I'm going to eat these and make myself hot. Every time I have a hot take that I know is going to piss you guys off and make you heated and me heated, I'm going to have a dang Cheetos hot, flaming hot, crunchy. Should have had lime with lime, but it doesn't. It's okay. So let's open it now. I've already had a couple of hot takes. So let's get it started. Like the Black Eyed Peas would say, let's get it started. Yeah, let's get it started, all right? We're also going to watch some video live together and critique it. Hopefully that's not against copyright on Twitch. I don't know. Ooh. There it is. Mikey Raider getting some hot Cheetos. Woo! I eat very funny, don't I, with my mouth open. Mukbang, mukbang. All right, y'all. Are you ready to get this show officially started? I am. Thanks for everybody tuning in and watching this. It is live, but we're not going to have a lot of viewers live, but it's okay. All right, we're going to start the show. We're coming right back with our show. All right, what's good, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Mikey Raider. It says it on the shirt, which makes it real in life. This is Raider Football Talk, your weekly Raider Nation football talk show, where we got all the hot takes. We don't got all the simple news, the analyst, the film breakdowns. We don't got all of that. We got some of that. But we got the hot takes from my opinion, because I've been a Raider fan for years and years, and I'm getting old, and I'm getting senile, and I'm getting mean and pissed off. But you're just going to get the truth from me. From me. May not be your truth, but it is mine. And that's okay. Because it's my show, or our show, but it's my show. And we're going to get to it. All right, first off, in a very, very beautiful scenery, Tom Flores went into the Hall of Fame. I believe he was inducted in by Mark Davis. I honestly haven't watched it all yet. I've been really, really busy. But man, what a pleasure to see Tom Flores finally go into the Hall of Fame. And there it is, his bust being revealed. And I'm so happy they finally got him in before, possibly passing away. I cannot stand that a lot of the times they get people in posthumously, something like that. Humor, can't think of the word. It's okay. But Tom Flores, you're in. Now we need to get Cliff Branch and a bunch of others, which is a travesty for Raider Nation. But congratulations, Tom Flores. You're in the Hall of Fame. Everybody knows your name. We love you, Tom. Then, the GOAT, 24. Charles Woodson was also inducted. Man, I saw his speech and everything, and he gave a fantastic speech about his family. He sang to his mother. And then he represented, man, and he was emotional. That, it meant something for him. And his kids were there, and it was a beautiful sight to see. Raider Nation was in the crowd. I saw a bunch of my friends in the crowd that were able to go. Gorilla Rilla, Violator, and Violator made it into the Hall of Fans for the NFL. They got his jersey, his outfit, his pictures into the Hall of Fame as a fan. The Violator, I forgot to have the picture up here right now. But man, what an amazing time. You know what? I might think I have that picture lying around somewhere. Let me see if I can pull that picture up of the Violator. I think I might have it just lying around here somewhere. If I don't, forgive me. Yeah, it looks like I forgot to get the Violator picture going up. But it's okay. The Violator got into the Hall of Fame, but we're talking about Charles Woodson. I'm proud of them both. Charles Woodson, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, into the Hall of Fame. No one's going to know your name except everybody now. Congratulations, she would. 24. Go drink his wine, man. Get messed up during the season. And hopefully our Raiders win a lot. Speaking of winning, we had our first preseason game. They're only having 3 preseason games this year. So I technically thought some of the starters might play in each of the games. But so far after 2 games, that really has not been the case due to injuries and whatever the heck is going on. But the Raiders beat the Seattle Seahawks in their first home game in Allegiant Stadium with fans. It was a preseason game, but it was fun to watch. I had a great time watching it. I wish I was there, because that might have turned out to be the last opportunity for some fans to go to the Allegiant Stadium. I might have missed my opportunity to go to that stadium to see the Raiders play from here on out, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But the Raiders got a big victory, man. They got a big, big victory. And then after that game, I was thoroughly impressed with the O-line. A lot of questions coming into the season about the O-line because we got all the young players. We got rid of Hudson, Gabe Jackson, who is a member of the Seattle Seahawks, who we reunited with at that game. But a lot of questions coming into this game. And for the most part, Alex Leatherwood looked pretty dang decent. And a couple of the other players, we had a nice run game with Trey Vegas. So I asked everybody on a poll, what was their favorite takeaway from where did the Raiders impress you more in the preseason game 1? Was it on offense with the O-line, the run game, whatever? Was it on defense as a whole? Was it the run game plus the O-line, which impressed me a lot? Or was it the defensive line plus the defensive energy that I saw on the field with Gus Bradley as our new coordinator? So Raider Nation went as a whole that the thing that impressed them most was the defense. And I agree. Because that's the biggest need for our Raiders right now is defense. It's the biggest need. And that impressed us all as a whole. Because we won the game. We held them to what? Like 7 points, whatever it was. And they looked good. But if I have to break down the defense, that defensive line and the energy I saw from them impressed me on top of the defense as a whole. And then that run game plus that O-line, man, that impressed me in week 1. But Raider Nation says the entire defense as a whole, because we've already had good offense, so we're not expecting much in the preseason from offense because we know we technically got a good offense. But I wanted to look at how the O-line did, and I thought they did a fantastic job with the run game. But we're expecting a lot from the defense this year. So Raider Nation clearly is watching the defense, and they stood out in week 1. Then we had training camp practice, inter-squad scrimmage with the Rams, and there was a lot of fights. Jonathan Abram got in a fight. A bunch of other people got into a fight, and it was fun. It's fun to watch the Raiders fight. Hunter Renfrow called out Jalen Ramsey in public. And everybody was like, yeah, that's right, call him out. Call out Jalen Ramsey. Let's go. Call him out. Let's go. And there was a bunch of fights. I didn't see the fight footage online. I saw a bunch of pictures. And Graphic Raider had a little bit of the fight footage from far away, but it was fun. Long story short, I asked a poll question because I like to ask poll questions on Twitter. And there's my Twitter handle. It is now at Mikey Raider on Twitter. I had to change my Twitter handle. I asked, how do you feel about the Raiders trash talk and the fighting bullshit versus the LA Lambs? How do you feel about it? Well, 45% said it's good. It's a new Raider culture. You know, it's a culture of like being tough and winning. And then I also wrote, stop the fighting and start winning. Because sometimes I just don't want fights. I just want to win. But sometimes you need the fight to win, to amp up the team. Then I said, F the Lambs. You know, it's a basic statement. It's a basic, simple statement, F the Lambs. Or do you see it as John Gruden did in his post-game presser, or at his post-practice press conference? John Gruden was pissed off. He said there's no need for it. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. Like, he called it a lack of discipline, and it needs to stop. That's not the John Gruden of the old days that I can remember. John Gruden is older now, and he's playing all the PC cards, trying to be politically correct. And there it is. Mikey Raider's first hot take, where I eat a hot Cheeto every time I say something that's going to piss people off, or it's a hot take. You see? The hot Cheetos. There it is. John Gruden is a shell of himself from many years ago. John Gruden would love to fight back in the days. Everybody. He even fought the Raiders in the Super Bowl. But now, he calls it lack of discipline. He doesn't want to see the fighting on the field. He thinks it's stupid. There it is. You are absolutely ridiculous, John Gruden. If you want to build this team up with pride and poise, you got to say it was good to see them with energy. It was good to see them go out and try to win the game and have some passion. And thank goodness nobody got injured or hurt, and we can't do that in the future. That's what you should have said, John Gruden. But you should have backed up your team and the trash talk from Hunter Renfrow, Jonathan Abram, and everybody else. So that brings us into the game that I went to. That's right. Mikey Raider was blessed to get some tickets and to be able to go. And we pulled out a last-second victory on a 2-point conversion play. The Rams tied the game up at the end. Not tied it up, but it was 17-16 at the end. And then the rumors are, and I don't even know if it's true or not, that you cannot have overtime in the preseason. So the Rams were forced, instead of kicking a PAT to tie the game to maybe go into overtime, they were forced to go for a 2-point conversion. I don't know if it's real or not that there's no or overtime in the preseason, but hey, they went for 2. We were able to stop them. There was no penalties. We won the game 17-16 in the debut at SoFi Stadium, the LA new stadium for the Chokers and the Lambs. And I went to that game, and I had a fantastic time. And I didn't ask these questions yet, but I was thoroughly impressed with the run game again and the O-line in the first quarter. Then, I don't know what happened, but our backups or whoever came in, and Peterman was getting got. The run game kind of stifled after, like, the second quarter, third quarter, and we didn't have that much passing game till the fourth quarter. There was a lot of, like, small yardage up to that point. But Nathan Peterman impressed. There was a point where he ran the ball and he kind of got into a fight on the sidelines that carried over from the practice, and it amped up the team, and I believe that was in the third quarter. And then we went on to score with Marshall Aitman, and Javon White was a beast. Javon White was a beast, and Nate Hobbs was a beast in that game. Unfortunately, Nicholas Morrow, Javon White went out with injuries. We don't know the extent as of right now. Maybe we'll find out more today or tomorrow when the Raiders start practicing again for the 49ers. But I had a fantastic time at the game, and it was fun to watch. And Nate Hobbs was your MVP of the game. I'm not going to go into every positional detail with what I saw, what I liked. The starters did not play. Mariota apparently was going to play. Was labeled injured before the game. I was hoping to watch Mariota. I was hoping to watch Carr for one series, watch Mariota from maybe till halftime, then Peterman the next half. But it was a Peterman game all the way. Marcus Mariota is injured, calf strain or something like that. So I don't know if we're going to see any other starters in week 3. We could discuss that in a little bit. But Nate Hobbs is your MVP. 1 interception, 1 tackle for loss, 2 pass breakups. He also, in my opinion, blocked the field goal that they missed. So I loved it. I loved it. And in week 1, Nate Hobbs balled out too. I mean, this guy's what, like a 4th or 5th round pick? Balling out, brother, balling out. Gruden said he might even be the starting cornerback or nickelback in this offense. So much for, who was it, LaMarcus Joyner? That cost us, what, like $10 million a year? Couldn't get nothing right from the Rams. We got Nate Hobbs for like a 5th round draft pick. F LaMarcus Joyner. He might still be on the team. I don't even know. All right, the Raiders cut down a few more players after the game as of now, and they got a couple days, I think till today or tomorrow, to cut another 5 to go from like, I think 85 to 80 by today, and then we got the big cut next week from like 85 to 55 or something like that. But they cut. The Raiders have waived Rochelle Douglas, Corliss Waitman, Parker Ellinger, while signing offensive tackle Devery Hamilton, who was previously on the roster. They have to get the roster down to 80 players by tomorrow. So that's today. So they got to get down to 80 by today. There it is. Me showing up at the LA SoFi Stadium. I was blessed to get tickets to the game. That's my best buddy. His name is Raphael. We call him Bruce Lee Raider. We also call him Bruce Leroy, like that old movie in the 80s. You know, Bruce Leroy catches bullets with his teeth. But we ended up going to the game. I ended up being blessed. I had to pay for them, but I was able to get 3 tickets. And we showed up and we met a very, 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 very good buddy of mine. Your favorite Raider Nation video maker, Samoan Raider, at the game. And we all sat together, watched the game. There it is. And not that I'm jealous or anything, but Samoan Raider, a bunch of people were taking pictures with him. Hey, that's Samoan Raider from YouTube. That's Samoan Raider from YouTube. And they were taking pictures of him. And I was like, ooh, what happened? What about me? I was getting a little jealous. But trust me, I love to see it. He deserves it. I'm so proud of him. He's my brother as well. But I ain't gonna lie, Mikey Raider likes a little bit of fame. Mikey Raider has a little bit of an ego. I was like, why aren't people recognizing me? Probably because I had to have the mask on. But a couple of people did recognize me and take pictures, whether it be from acting or television or the Raiders. But Samoan Raider, they love you, brother. You're doing a great job. All right, let's quickly watch a little bit of a video. It's probably just me looking at the camera. I don't know what I'm doing. Inside the stadium with my boy. See what happens. I haven't watched these videos that much lately. I've been a little bit busy. That place was packed with Raider Nation, y'all. That place was packed with Raider Nation. We outnumbered them probably 3-1. Here's more video of this. There's Samoan. Got him in there. I gave Samoan Raider the extra ticket I got. So I'm really happy, man, to hang out with some Raider Nation. Because the fact of the vaccine situation that we're going to get into in a minute, this might have been my only opportunity to see the Raiders, even in LA, as of a while. So, but man, that's a beautiful stadium, that SoFi Stadium. I ain't going to lie, man. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. I wish it was the LA Raiders Stadium, but we got a beautiful one in Vegas. So people gonna get mad at me for that, because I said it's beautiful. That's a hot take. I have to eat a hot Cheeto every time I say something that's gonna make people hot or pissed off. How dare you say the stadium looks beautiful? Vegas Stadium is the only stadium, Mikey Raider. Oh, boys. All right. Oh, we already did that movie. What's next? Oh, yeah. And I also wanted to give a shout out to Frankie. Hopefully I pronounced it right. Frankie Moscarado. He's been a supporter of me for years. He's always super chatted, donated, whatever. He took his beautiful family. We were going to try to meet up, but I got there late. I had problems with Uber all day. I'll get into it in a minute. But Frankie, I just want to say I love you. I'm sorry we did not meet for the first time at the game. I know you saw Samoan Raider somehow. I was probably only a few steps away, but we could not connect due to the phone, the problems, my Uber getting there late. But I love the t-shirt you're wearing. He created a Tom Flores shirt. You can probably see it with the 4 Super Bowl things that Tom Flores has won as a player and a coach and blah, blah, blah. And he's an awesome guy. Check him out. His name is Unholy Raider on Twitch. On Twitter. So check him out. I'll put a link to that maybe later. But you can find him in my Twitter feeds. But thank you for that. All right, y'all. Let's just start it. We're going to get into a very interesting, crazy topic. So I'm going to show you a poll I posted after the Raiders announced the stuff we're going to talk about. I said, with the you have to be vaccinated rules to go to Raider home games being announced, how will you react as a Raider fan? 40% said I'm vaxxed and I'm still going to go. So, again, only 55 votes. I don't know if how big of a result it is. I don't have that many subscribers or followers. But 7% said they're selling their tickets. 27% said I love this rule. And 25% said I'm going to go out to Kinko's. I'm going to take a copy of a card and I'm going to fake it. That's a hot take. You can't do that. You get 20 years in jail. But little do you know, you can't fake it. And we're going to talk about why. But a lot of people are not going to like this segment. So for everybody that is not going to like this segment, because like I said, the majority is happy about the rule. And the majority from my vote is that everybody's vaxxed and they're still going. So many of you are not going to like what I'm about to say from my personal experience, my personal opinion. on the Raiders, the situation, the staff, the crew, the stadium, the players, and everybody. So, I tell the people that get triggered very easily, move forward in this video probably 15 minutes. Let's get it started. All right. A couple days back, I saw this on Twitter, this picture, and I immediately did a triple take. Not a double take, a triple take. Home game vaccination requirement? Apparently, Mark Davis had a press conference and explained that you have to be vaccinated and show proof for every home Raider game this year. And here's the situation. First off, I did not see this video on Raiders.com. Nope. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find it on Raiders.com. They post every video they make. They also put it on YouTube. Wasn't there. I did not find it on the Allegiant Stadium YouTube. Didn't find it there. The video of the 30-minute press conference that Mark Davis did wasn't even on the NFL news or website when I saw this picture. Granted, this might have been only 2 hours or 3 hours after the press conference, but I looked for it the day after, 2 days after as well, and I still couldn't find it. Except for one place. I think it was called K-Ron. That's like a Vegas news station. They had the entire complete press conference on that station. Why is it not on the NFL website, at least? Why wasn't it talked about in a couple of segments that were released by the NFL on YouTube or wherever? They did write a little article about it in their news segment, but why wasn't it on Raiders.com, the entire press conference? They did write a little news article about the rules. It may be up there now. It's been a few days. I have not checked. But you got to wonder, why the heck was it not on mainstream news that day, especially on the NFL and all the Raiders websites and everything? What controversy are they trying to avoid? What controversy are they trying to avoid? Is it division? Separation? Because truthfully, 50% I think of America, according to the stats, if you believe the stats from Johns Hopkins or wherever they get their idiot stats from, 50% of America is vaccinated, or at least has one shot so far. So the truth is, this is going to cause division. This is going to cause division for half of the NFL. The NFL has been getting into politics, and you know, the NFL is gay, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. And the kneeling for the national anthem, the racism, like the NFL is like knee deep in problems or wokeness or problems with politics. Many years ago, I didn't care. I wanted them to kneel, take their right, politics, this and that. People were like, I don't want politics in football. I don't want to talk about it. And I was like, yeah, you know what? It's important. It's important. Now I'm pissed off. It seems like politics and all of this stuff is creeped into the NFL. And it should not. It should not. I'm not happy. But long story short, this was not on all the mainstream news. They did not really want to report it majorly. And why is that? Because they were afraid that they're going to create more division. And what they are doing is a test. Is a test to see how the NFL reacts. And why was it that Mark Davis made this announcement and no other NFL team as of right now has made this announcement? They might have in the future. Again, in the coming days, another stadium might do this. but it was the Raider Stadium and Mark Davis who agreed for this mandate to basically divide the fans and kind of go woke because they own Mark Davis. You could blame it on the mayor of Las Vegas, the city of Las Vegas, their mandates. We're going to get into that why it's a lie in a little bit. But the NFL owns Mark Davis. The millionaires own Mark Davis, and that's another hot take. So I eat Cheetos every time there's a hot take that'll make you guys mad. Man. Let's watch a little bit of the press conference that is very hard to find. And let's critique it. Let's critique it. I believe this is fair use Twitch. I'm going to critique it. Not going to show the whole thing. But let's watch a little bit of it and critique and give my own opinion, which I believe is fair use.
But right now, what we've got is certainty, at least for the Raider fans, that we're going to have full capacity without masks in that stadium. And
okay, by forcing a vaccine mandate to get into the stadium, you still believe we're going to have a full crowd at that stadium after you're basically dividing half of the Raider Nation, possibly?
For that certainty, I'm just very thankful to the governor for coming up with something that will work for us.
You're thankful to Governor Sisolak, who got into your head, but he got you the stadium as well. So they own you. They own you, Mark Davis. And you're thankful to him for forcing a vaccine mandate on your own fans?
Well, I just support the decisions that are being made. Every state, every team is probably going to have a different view on this. I support the decision that was made. I'll be anxious to see as many Raider fans as possible with no mask. That's what I'm excited about. They can make more noise that way. But I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of people, but I do support the direction we're heading, and I encourage everybody that I know to get the vaccine and come and join us.
There it is, John Gruden towing the line. Like I said earlier in the show, John Gruden is not the John Gruden of old. John Gruden should be a Raider. He should fight the system. He should fight the public. But no, he's a company guy. He's getting $100 million, $10 million a year. John Gruden is not the same John Gruden of old. His name is not Chucky. His name is Woke Chucky. There it is. Every time there's a damn hot take, this is what you gonna get. Hot Cheetos, because I'm pissing people off. For all you morons out there that want to throw stats and vaccine and this and in everybody's face, it helps you. It's good to wear a mask. You know, that's fine. Whatever you make an opinion for is fine. But you cannot make an opinion or force something for other people who inherently, basically were born in America with those rights. It's a sensitive subject for a lot of people, and I understand both sides of the argument. A lot of my friends are vaxxed. And I felt sad about it, because I'm not that I'm anti-vaxxer. I don't agree with it right now. Per the COVID stats that I see, and I believe, and the death rate being below 1%, and it's just, that's my opinion. Okay? It's my opinion. Doesn't make me anti-vax. It just makes me not want to try an experimental drug. Or vaccine was no longer experimental. They just approved it with Pfizer. Vaccines normally take, from what I heard, 10 years to be corrected. But we can get into all that crap at another date on a conspiracy show. But let's continue with this division of Raider Nation and why this happened for the Raiders and the stadium. Let's watch a little bit more of this press conference and we'll talk.
We know it's the right thing to do. We know it's the right way to keep this stadium full all season long.
It's the right thing to do? For who? Half of the country says it's the wrong thing. Half of the Raider Nation says it's the wrong thing. The other half says it's right. Is it right for the elites? And who the heck are you? Did you take over for all the people that retired recently? Was it because of the vaccine mandate?
And to create the game day experience that our fans love and miss and remember.
So they're using the excuse that you no longer have to wear masks. And you can yell and have the game day experience so long as you get vaccinated. They're using that excuse. You can get your freedoms back as long as you get vaccinated. Didn't they say that last year? Oh, we're going to quarantine for 3 weeks. Turned into still quarantine for many. Turned into a year. You don't have to wear masks. They're not good. As said by Dr. Fauci, Fakesy. Then you have to wear a mask. Hey, put on 2 masks. 2 masks are better than 1. You have to wear a mask on the plane because it's in the air and it could spread very easily. But when you're eating on the plane, it's fine. So you got to wear a mask. Even outside, you got to wear a mask. Just like at the Raider games or the Rams game, whatever. You got to wear a mask. But when you're eating, hey, what's going on? It's fine. You're protected here. And you're still protected because you're eating. Bullshit. When I eat, I spit out more. I talk more. My breathing gets bigger because I'm happy to eat food. I spit out my food. I don't see how you're protected. Common sense, people. Common freaking sense.
They can cheer for their team without masks, gather with their friends and family, and have the good time that they all remember having.
Governor Sisolak was done.
Man, get vaccinated. You can have a good time with your family. You can yell and cheer and scream. Do it. You can finally get back your life and you can scream for us. You can scream for us.
Dealt a pretty bad hand. Things were going pretty good here in Las Vegas when the pandemic hit. And he's had to scramble every which way but loose. And there's been no certainty, and there still is no certainty. I think people forget that we're still in the middle of a pandemic. It's not over yet.
No, we got Omega, Gamma, Delta, Alpha, Beta, Lambda. We got plenty variants ahead and plenty booster shots ahead. Probably every 8-month booster shot for every variant that's going to be expected in the years to come in the pharmaceutical military industrial complex. A lot of money being made.
And so we've listened to Governor Sisolak. We've spoken with him on a number of things. And I think what he came up with here was two options that we could have followed. And health and safety is always number one in everything that we do. And we just feel that
health and safety is number one. The government wants us safe. The pharmaceutical industry wants us safe. The medical industry wants us safe. They're giving us free vaccines. They're trying to cure us and help us. They want us safe. They don't want us to die. So why isn't cancer treatment free? Why isn't medical treatment free from our government? If you guys care all about our safety, Everything should be free. All the medical care. Because you care that much about our health and our safety. Why isn't all that other stuff free? If you want to save lives and help us.
This part of the process, the way that he came up with it, is the one that we're going to follow.
Again, every time I come up with a hot take that people aren't going to like, I'm going to eat hot Cheetos. Common sense, people. Common sense. Hey, if you get vaccinated, not only can you go to a Raider game, a home game, not only can you not wear a mask and cheer with your fans, you can also win the lottery. You can also get free French fries. If you show your vaccine card to everybody, you can get free hamburgers, free French fries. You can get discounts.
Focus here, community ambulances, to help support the initiative that the Raiders have put forth. We'll be providing vaccinations on site for those that have not received their vaccination. We'll be able to process that here on site. They'll receive their vaccine card at that point, and they'll then be able to follow the protocol to then get it uploaded to clear. So we're happy to support this community, like many.
What? What? Did you just hear what he said? The agenda that the Raiders are pushing forward, I'm going to say it's the elites. They're going to have a vaccination site in the parking lot of Raider Stadium. So if you're that desperate to watch the Raiders and you haven't been vaccinated, you can go a few hours before the game, get vaccinated. They going to give you a first shot card. Then you got to download their little Clear program, upload that card where they get all your data, your information. Then you can go watch the Raider game. But because you only had your first shot, you have to wear a mask. But you can go watch the Raiders and you can get vaccinated in the parking lot. So for people with health problems and for some people, the vaccination does affect them. There's not a lot of footage online because you can't find it because they censor everybody. Some people have died from the vaccine, but they don't call it the vaccine. They say it's liver damage, it's this, it's that, it's not the vaccine. Some people have died from it. You can't find the stats all the time because everything's censored. A lot of people have reactions, issues, they faint, they whatever from the shot. Can't find those videos online all the time, but they do. So could you imagine, you bring your family to the Raider game. You get vaccinated in the parking lot. And then, they're probably going to watch you for a good 20 minutes. Make sure you don't pass out or whatever for 20 minutes. Now you can go into the game. But now you got to wear a mask. You got to cut out your breathing even more. Could you imagine 2 hours, an hour and a half into the game? If your body, something happens to a bunch of people that got vaccinated in the parking lot, they're going to pass out in the middle of the stadium. They have to wear a mask now. I'm just going to say it. Somebody might die. But will it be reported on the news? Probably not. Somebody literally might die by getting the vaccine before a Raider game. Hot take. Gotta eat hot Cheetos. I'm making you guys mad. I know I am. What about the kids? The mandates for kids under 16 years of age, I don't know if that's around. What about a family trying to go to the game? I guess kids can go in if they wear a mask. Well, if kids can go in and wear a mask, why can't regular people that are not unvaccinated? There's some kind of an agenda there, and I don't like it, I don't understand it, and I don't know what it is. Let's hear these last answers by Mark Davis, and then we're going to move along.
And I would say that if people are concerned about taking the shot or whatever, that we will refund their money for the season for the 9 games. We'll give them a full refund, or they can roll their ticket money over till next season.
Oh my God. Hey guys, if you don't want to get the jab, we're going to refund your money. Even though you bought season tickets, we're going to refund your money. You got to go online, fill out a form, wait 5 months, but we'll refund your money. Or you can keep the money with us and roll it over till next year, till 2022, where hopefully you're vaccinated by then. And now you can come to the game in 2022. If they're selling their tickets or unvaccinated and they don't want to get it, you're saying they're going to change their mind just to watch a Raider game, and you can roll it over till next year. Well, what if COVID and everything is worse next year? What if you don't even have fans in the stadium again? Can they roll it over till 2023? So at least the money stays in the house, in your guys' bank account with the Raiders. Ridiculous statement. And I'm gonna end this little situation here. First off, again, a lot of people believe in the vaccine and this and that. That's fine. Again, nope. I will not shame you. Like, vaccinated people shame us for not being vaccinated, and it's ridiculous. I'm not shaming the vaccinated people. That's your choice. I'm proud you made a decision for you for whatever reasons. But just think about this real quick. We pay the Raiders thousands of dollars to watch their games. We take trips on planes. We spend money on the food. So long story short, they're trying to force, they're not going to say it, but we're giving you a choice, but they're technically forcing you to get the jab to watch your favorite team at home. They're technically trying to force you to get the jab to watch your favorite team at home. So not only can it possibly cause illness, death to certain people, it will help other people as well. I get that. But it can cause problems for some people, the vaccine. So not only are we literally paying you to watch a Raider game, we're paying our hard-earned money, but you're forcing us to get jabbed to give you even more money. You get it? For the people that choose not to be vaccinated, they're not going to go to the game. They're going to get refunded their money because they're pissed off. But for some people, they love the Raiders so much, they were hesitant. They maybe didn't want to get the jab. Now they're probably going to do it just because we're probably going to win a lot of games this year. They're going to want to go, so they're going to get vaccinated. Some might say that's a good thing. But think about this. Again, some freedoms for personal people are being violated for their opinions. They're forcing a vaccine to watch their games, which we already pay them a good amount of money for. We're paying them to possibly kill us with a vaccine.
If in fact they roll it over till next season, they'll get the full 10-game season for the 9 games that they're returning. If in fact they get a refund, they will then just pay next year the full price for their season.
Shut up, Mark Davis. You are a owner in the NFL. You are the patsy right now. And let me just quickly say this in terms of common sense. They're forcing the fans to get vaccinated to watch their games. They're trying to force the players to all get vaccinated to play in their own games. They're trying to. They're making them go through hoops and all these procedures still. But they're trying to force fans to get the jab to watch the Raiders. They're trying to force the players to get the jab to play on the field with no drama. Do you believe that every single staff member, coach, owner, general manager, all the elites that own NFL teams, or especially the Raiders, have all got the vaccine? Why do they not have to prove it to us? They want us to prove vaccines to go watch their games and to give them money. I want proof that Mark Davis is vaccinated to go to his own game. I want proof that Mike Mayock got vaccinated to go to their own game. I want proof that John Gruden got vaccinated to go to their own game. I just don't want to hear it on the news. I'm not going to believe it. Because if I tell them, hey, I got vaccinated, they're not going to believe it. They want to see a card. They want us to download an application. They want us to give our data to a company that's going to sell it for money. I want proof that all of these owners and whatever have been vaccinated and able to watch their own games. Are they going to do it? No, of course not. So they possibly are lying as well. It's all about money. Who's paying who? Who's paying what? And let's watch this story a little bit, and we'll get into some more hypocrisy. I told you guys, a lot of people are not going to want to watch this and move on, and it might be longer than 15 minutes, but...
Everyone is going to have to present proof that they have been vaccinated against COVID-19 before they're even allowed to enter Allegiant Stadium. But instead of showing a vaccination card, you're actually going to show them a digital health pass on an app on your smartphone. So the Raiders have partnered with a company called Clear, and you can download their app for free.
Does the app cost $1 to download? Are they going to make that money that way? Or is it free? Hey, it's free, Mikey Raider. You're tripping. You're tripping. We can't show the card? Then why do we have a card? We got to scan the card in that application, take a facial recognition shot, and all this other stuff. Watch.
And then you will have to upload 3 things onto that app. Your vaccine card, the front and back of a government-issued ID, and you'll have to take a selfie. And then the app...
My ID with my address and the selfie. That's a lot of data. That's a lot of information for this company called Clear. When we all know that internet companies sell your data for profit. How many millions of dollars in data and information on NFL fans or Raider fans are they going to get? How many home addresses? How many selfie pictures for their ID technology in the future? For police scanners, police cameras to catch us in the streets?
Will take care of the rest, developing a digital health pass with a QR code that can then be scanned by stadium officials on game day to verify your vaccination status. And you only have to go through that process once, and it will work for the whole year.
Oh, you only got to do it once. You only got to do it once. Don't worry. It's only one time annoyance. One time. One time. One time. One time. Now, get this. Just listen to this.
Those who are fully vaccinated, so then they will know who is supposed to be wearing the mask. And
oops, let me skip a little bit back.
I could listen to Coach Gruden all day. Now, there is still one thing stadium officials have not figured out yet. That is how to separate and identify fans who are partially vaccinated versus those who are fully vaccinated. So then they will know who is supposed to be wearing the mask and who doesn't need to inside the stadium. They said that they are working on a plan, and we will let you know as soon as we hear more. Live in the studio tonight, Ross DiMattei, 13.
All right, this is what I was trying to get to, guys. Sorry.
Vegas Golden Knights say they are not making changes at this time. The organization sending a statement to us that reads, "We are aware of the recent announcements from the governor regarding large venues and possible vaccination requirements." They add, "We will continue to follow the applicable guidance and recommendations from state and local health officials, the National Hockey League, and the CDC."
All right, so the Vegas Knights in their stadium, they're not forcing vaccine on their customers. They're just going to continue with the mask guidelines that were in place from Governor Sisolak and the CDC. The Vegas Knights are not doing it. Why are the Raiders?
Well, the Las Vegas Aces, who are also owned by Mark Davis, are also staying put. The team issuing a statement today that reads that the Aces have no plans to change their policy at this time. All fans must remain masked throughout the game unless eating or drinking, regardless of vaccination status.
So Mark Davis is forcing vaccine for the Raiders, but he also owns the Las Vegas Aces, his WNBA team, and he's not forcing vaccinations for them? Why for the Raiders and not for the Aces, if you care about us and all that other stuff? Because he doesn't own the stadium for the Aces. He doesn't own the stadium for the Raiders as well either. It's corporations. What corporations run this stuff? That's why they run Mark Davis. So clearly, by proof of the Vegas Aces, they didn't give Mark Davis a decision. The decision is coming down from the stadium authority, and they don't want to lose fans by dividing them with 50% of the fans that have to be vaccinated or whatever. The Aces don't want to do that because they're going to lose money. And if Mark Davis had a hand in that decision as well, he's choosing not to force the vaccine for the Las Vegas Aces as well because he doesn't want to make fans pissed off and lose money for the Aces. He's willing to lose money for the Raiders because it's a bigger fan base and a bigger team, and no matter what, he still gets revenue from the commercials and from the NFL and from many other places, possibly like the Clear application for the vaccine passes. He possibly gets money from them to force this mandate and to force them to use their application. This is billionaires at work, guys, making their money, making their damn money. Will any other NFL team do this? I'm sure there's going to be one or two of them in the coming days because the Raiders and Mark Davis and Allegiant Stadium is a test market. It's a test market to see how they react because the Raider Nation are the most loyal. So they chose Mark Davis. They forced Mark Davis to do this as a test because we are the most loyal fan base that falls on every side of the equation. They're going to see how much money they possibly lose from Raider fans or how much they gain. We are the test subjects, just like Africa was for Bill Gates and the vaccine many years ago. Now, real quickly, I am so proud of this guy from the Buffalo Bills, Cole Beasley. Many of you have already seen this video, but he's very scared to speak out. That's the problem with the world nowadays. Everybody's afraid to speak out. Even me. Go against the grain. But I love this speech so much. I thought it was very intelligent, and I thought it was very worthwhile. And I just wanted to show that watch his fear when he's speaking. He's a little bit afraid and scared to do this.
Before we get started, I know a lot of you guys probably have a lot of questions about what has gone on in the past couple weeks between the players, the NFLPA, the vaccine, all those issues. So out of respect for my teammates and coaches, I wanted to kind of put something together so I could explain those things and get it out of the way.
You hear his breathing in the background? That's because he's huffing and puffing. Probably not only because of the mask, because he's technically afraid to go against the mainstream narrative.
And then after that, just move on to football, if that's okay with you guys, all right? So is everybody ready? All righty. All right. I wanted to start this off by saying I'm not anti or pro-vax. I'm pro-choice.
Me as well.
With that being said, the issue at hand is information is being withheld from players in order for a player to be swayed in a direction he may not be comfortable with. When dealing with a player's health and safety, there should be complete transparency regarding information that is vital in the decision-making process.
Information is being not given on many occasions. My friend went and got the vaccine, and I went with him to watch and ask questions. When he sat down in front of this nurse, practitioner, whatever they are, I sat down and I said, "Can you tell me the list of ingredients in the vaccine and the side effects from each of those ingredients?" The nurse was scared. She looked at me like this. She goes, "Well, if he wants to know, he can ask me. You're not being vaccinated." She's like, "You can look it up online." Then I told my friend, I go, "Dude, ask her the question, bro. It's important." And he's a good friend of mine. So he goes, "No, I would like to know." And she goes, "Well, I don't know offhand." The nurse that's giving the jab didn't know the ingredients in the vaccine to give. People don't ask questions, and these people don't give answers. Then we forced her to talk to her supervisor. Then they came out with a piece of paper that listed like 9 things. Then I said, "Do you know what each of these do?" We have to look online or this or that for the side effects or this or that. Again, it's sheep. The vaccines are a test. They're experimental, regardless of apparently being mandated by the FDA or registered the other day, Pfizer. It's experimental. There's misinformation everywhere. Things are being censored. Nobody knows what's in it. And if people knew, some people would choose not to do it. And if some people knew the ingredients and what side effects or whatever, other people might literally get the vaccine. So that's what he means about misinformation. The people giving you the shot don't even know. And the doctors don't even know.
Without having all the proper information, a player can feel misguided and unsure about a very personal choice. It makes a player feel unprotected and gives concerns about future topics regarding health and our ability to make educated decisions. With regard to our overall safety, we have to know we are armed with full knowledge and understanding that those who are in a position to help us will always do that based on our individual situation. Some people may think that I'm being selfish in making this a me thing. It is all about the young players who don't have a voice and are reaching out to me every day because they're being told if they don't get vaxxed, they'll be cut.
See, they are trying to force it on the players as well. And the young players that might have a chance to make the team, their actual placement on the team doesn't come down to their playing ability. It comes down to, like, if they were vaccinated, they make the team. Because they don't have to go through all the protocols and possibly, give COVID to any other player or whatever, or superstar on our team. So the young players are like, dude, we might not even have a job if we don't get the vaccine. And in real life, they're forcing the vaccine just to go to work. Just to work for people. It's getting out of hand, guys. It's getting out of hand. And then a lot of people say, well, I don't know why the players are being selfish. Just get it and shut up. Just play ball. A lot of the NFL players are African American. They're black. If you look into the history of vaccines and African Americans or black people, and in Africa as well, you'll learn that history of all the death, the manipulation of making them test subjects by Bill and Melinda Gates and their foundation and all that other stuff. You'll learn that history. No wonder a lot of black people or Africans are scared, do not want to get the vaccination or whatever. And now they're basically forcing it.
Agents are being told by teams if they have unvaccinated guys, they will not be given opportunities as of now to be seen in workouts. So once unvaxxed players get cut, they're losing a dream they have worked their whole lives for over a vaccine that is proven to not keep people from contracting COVID, as we've seen. Every doctor I've gone to with questions begins every sentence with, "from what we know now," which tells me we don't know enough.
Exactly. Common sense question. From what the doctors even say it, from what we know now. From what we know now, and we don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. Even the stats are manipulated. You guys can do your own research for that. The COVID deaths, even the people that contract COVID, the stats are all misconstrued.
The NFLPA is working to have vaccinated players tested more frequently than what the NFL initially stated. A lot of players got the vaccination with the idea that these rules were already set in stone, and they're not. It is common sense that if a vaxxed or unvaxxed player is tested less frequently, the likelihood of a player being pulled for COVID drops dramatically. In regard to player safety, I will conclude by saying we all want to be safe.
Now he's trying to toe the line. He made his peace. Now he's trying to explain and be a courteous person, and hopefully other people will not shame him. And they'll accept and love him with the empathy that he shows for his own personal opinion.
For so many players around the NFL, safety does not solely mean avoiding the COVID virus. Our health is the now and years beyond, which we are trying to protect with our personal choice, while doing all the things we did in our protocol during a very successful 2020 NFL season. That's kind of where the issue has been for me this whole time, and that's how I want to, end it right there.
There it is. Congratulations for speaking out. I truly appreciate it. All right, everybody. What I'm about to show you is not proof of anything. I make a claim that this may not be true or not. I do not know. But this is an interesting little video clip from somebody that's talking to a Pfizer employee who's now become a Pfizer whistleblower. And it was on an alternative news type site about the stats and the numbers of how many people have actually died from the vaccine. And again, that information is not being pushed on the TV shows. There's not a vaccine death counter that tells everybody how many died. Many people do not know if any died. They don't know because the stats are not being presented on the news. But this is, whether it's true or not, is an interesting little thing from a Pfizer whistleblower that this doctor is talking to.
I'm actually been talking to a whistleblower right now that's yet to be named, who's an insider at Pfizer, who called and was crying and said, that 45,000 number, I have documentation that, and I haven't seen it yet, so at this point in time, it's still hearsay, that I've got documentation that that number's closer to 200,000 people that have died within a week or less of getting one of the shots.
Again, I cannot claim it's real, truth, or not, or anything. But I guess there's numbers out there that it's around 40,000 people that have possibly died from the vaccine. And the whistleblower for Pfizer is saying those numbers might be wrong, and it's closer to 200,000, which would put it on par with actual COVID deaths as well. And just to throw a little stat out there for people that are still watching or even care, we have different vaccines, flu vaccines, polio vaccines, shingle vaccines, and from the year 2000 to 2019, and you can look this up on the actual CDC website, you can look up deaths from the vaccine. But look up from 2000 to 2019 and look up the deaths from the vaccine. And on that website, from 2000 to 2019, again, before COVID and COVID vaccines, there's been about 4,500 deaths from all of the vaccines All of them from 2000 to 2019. 4,500 or something deaths. In 20 years from all the vaccines that were available. Because they were all tested and approved in the years and whatever. But ever since 2019, like December, November, when the vaccine came out for COVID, and now we've had it, 8 months? So altogether, we've had the COVID vaccine for about 10 months, maybe 11. And on the actual website for the CDC, when I looked about 2 weeks ago, it said there was, from 2020 till now, there was over 6,000 deaths from the COVID vaccine on the actual CDC website. So for 20 years with the other vaccines, we only had 4,500 or so deaths from all of the vaccines in 20 years. But in 10 months with the COVID vaccine, according to the CDC, we've had over 6,000. And then again, this report says 45,000 possibly, or 200,000. Makes you think, doesn't it? Makes you think. There's the protocols to go to the home game. And again, you can't just show a card. You got to download the app, take a picture of the card, take a selfie. You got to give them your driver's license, all your information that they're going to sell for money because they're going to sell your data. And then children ages 2 to 11 have to wear a mask. So are they forcing vaccinations on 12-year-olds? Are they forcing vaccinations on 13-year-olds? 14-year-olds? 15-year-olds? Are they forcing vaccinations on that ages? Because again, I think just yesterday, the vaccine was approved for kids 16 years or older. Maybe it was 16 or younger. I do not know. But it's just interesting. Now, read this article. People don't understand this because the mainstream news doesn't talk about it a lot. This is from an article last year, 2020. And I know you guys are probably bored watching all this vaccine stuff, but some people enjoy it. We're going to get back to Raider stuff in a little bit, but again, this is my show. This is Raider Football Talk, and this pertains to the Raiders because we are being test subjects right now with our stadium policy and by the NFL and by the elites. Many articles do not list this, but it's been reported that hospitals were getting paid to list patients with COVID. Hospitals were getting paid money when a person died to say it was a COVID death. Those were the rumors. A lot of nurses, a lot of doctors have spoke out on video, but their videos are suppressed. This is one of the only articles I could find, and they called it a fact check. But hospitals get paid, this is from USA Today, hospitals get paid more if patients are listed as COVID-19, and they get more if they're on ventilators as well. Jensen said hospital administrators might well want to see COVID-19 attached to a discharge summary or a death certificate. Why? Because if it's a straightforward garden variety pneumonia that a person is admitted to the hospital for, not COVID, pneumonia, if they're Medicare, typically the diagnosis related group lump sum payment would be $5,000 for pneumonia. So if a person was taken into the hospital with pneumonia, the hospital gets $5,000 to take care of that patient. But if it's COVID-19 pneumonia, then it's $13,000 to take care of that patient because of the COVID-19 diagnosis. If that COVID-19 pneumonia patient ends up on a ventilator, it goes up to $39,000. So you come in with the flu. I'm just saying, the flu disappeared last year. But if you go in with the flu, which a lot of people think COVID is, it's like a very bad flu. They tell you, oh, we got to give you a COVID test. And 80% of the results probably come out positive for COVID because you show the symptoms. And many people believe COVID is in every person's body. And the minute you have mucus and the flu or whatever, that means it'll show up as a COVID case. So you go with possibly the flu or pneumonia. They tell you, they test you, you got COVID. Then they write down it's a COVID pneumonia or COVID. They get $13,000 instead of $5,000. Then, if you show any signs of not being able to breathe correctly, they recommend a ventilator or they put you on a ventilator, and then they get $39,000. So, would it not be in the best interest of the hospital, not the nurses, not the doctors maybe, but would it not be in the best interest for every hospital to hope that everybody has COVID and everybody goes on a ventilator? What if you had regular lung problems normally and you caught the flu? They put you on a ventilator and you got COVID. They got $39,000. All right, let's move along, y'all. This is the Raiders training facility. It's called Intermountain Healthcare Performance Center. Intermountain Healthcare is a hospital and a healthcare provider for Nevada and many other locations. They funded the Raider Stadium. They are a hospital. And we just talked about how much more money hospitals get for COVID patients. And for giving out vaccines, I'm sure. The vaccines are free because the government pays for it. The government pays the hospitals to give out the vaccines. And they pay for the equipment from Pfizer. The health facility is not giving the vaccine for free. They're receiving money from the government to do so. But the healthcare performance center that was made for the Raiders is from a hospital and a healthcare service that is getting rich off of masks, vaccines, COVID diagnosis, and everything. So do you not think that they had a hand in forcing the vaccine on Raider fans? To get more money, to set up shop in more areas, you can probably vaccinate another 30, 40, 50,000 people that want to go to Raider games now. And I don't know how much money you get per vaccine. $1,000, $500, whatever. Might even be $1,000. Might even be $10,000. I do not know. But you definitely get money for vaccinating the fans that want to go to the game. And you created the facility for the Raiders to train and practice. Do you guys see a contrast? Some sort of a confusion there? How hard would it be for them to call Mark Davis up and force him to not let unvaccinated fans into the stadium so they can make more money with the vaccines? Would Mark Davis be able to tell them, no, go F yourself? He would not, because they are part owners of the stadium and the training facility. And they're probably cut Mark Davis a deal. Or Mark Davis feels in debt to them because they probably funded most of the building of that entire training facility. And here's a little bit of a video talking about people being paid to push vaccines, to push COVID, everything. Whether you believe it or not, this is very interesting, and we're going to end this here. There's a lot of videos from YouTubers and influencers that have said that they were paid to promote vaccines and to tell everybody to worry about COVID. And they denied them. They were paid by their agents, their managers, whoever. Now, speaking out is a former NBA player who played with the Lakers, Andrew Bogut. I found this video the other day, and listen to what he says. Whether you believe him or not, it's up to you. But it's just interesting how a lot of healthcare providers, hospitals, doctors, celebrities, states, companies are pushing vaccines in COVID, quite possibly because they're getting paid a lot of money to do so. From who? The pharmaceutical industry that is now running the country. This is from Andrew Bogut, NBA player for the Lakers and other teams. And that was a hot take, so I'm going to eat Cheetos.
Whether you're an actor, an actress, a sports star, an influencer from getting a nice boob job and looking good, I don't care. Whoever you are, why don't we hear you speaking up? The silence is deafening. Let me give you the reason why. Last year, about 3 or 4 months into this pandemic, I got a message from somebody. I'm not going to name who it was or where it came from. I got offered money to put out a public service announcement for you everyday plebs to stay home. We were something like this. Hi, I'm Andrew Bogut, former NBA washed up athlete, former Olympian, whatever you want to call it. It's your duty to stay home. Do the right thing for the community. I've got money in my bank account. I'm good. I'm fine. I can fill up my fridge with food. Got cars. I can even somewhat get to different parts of the world if I really wanted to. But you, stay home. Do the right thing for the community. We are all in this together.
Wow, this is a crazy, interesting statement. Again, whether you agree, you believe him, it's up to you. I typically think not a lot of people have a reason to lie when it comes to this. We're all afraid to tell the truth or whatever. So when people do come out like this, you would have to typically think they're not lying, because it can bounce back on them very easily and they can lose whatever they have. So when they come out with statements like this, they already know that they can lose it all. So they're typically not lying.
I refuse to do that shit. And I was offered money for it. I don't need the money. You're right. I was offered money for it. I refuse to do that shit. Now that's a personal choice I made, because I knew that I was that person that I'd be giving the message to when I was a kid. I was once that person that's told, you're not essential. Check the community, stay home. So put 2 and 2 together. Why do you think a lot of these people haven't put messages out? Why do you think they've put contra messages out saying, do the right thing? Oh, don't do this, don't do that. You know, you got to stay home. You're not essential. I am. I can shoot my influencer video here on the beach and I'm deemed essential. Here's my media pass. But you're not essential. They're getting paid for that shit for the most part. Athletes that are in leagues all around Australia and even the world to an extent.
Australia is in crazy lockdown, protests in the streets. People are being beat, manipulated. It's tyranny from tyrants.
I know for Australia for a fact, because I've had people reach out to me, have been muzzled. Athletes that are on contract in our biggest leagues in Australia, AFL, NRL, whatever you want to call it, they've been told you are not to make anti-lockdown, anti-government statements on social media, period, no matter how drastic they are, because it affects our league staying open and you getting a salary.
The video goes on for a good while, but I'll leave it at that. Interesting statement. And for a lot of the information that you don't get through YouTube or other outlets like that because of censorship, you can find some of it, alternative media, on a website called 153news.net. I find a lot of the scary videos of tyranny. You can call it conspiracy theories, whatever you want. But I find a lot of that information on 153news.net, sometimes on BitChute and other platforms like that. So you guys can check that out if you're interested in seeing videos that you quite possibly will not see anywhere else. And just to reiterate, the final situation with the Raiders Stadium and all this other stuff that kind of pisses me off was that the Raider fans have to be vaccinated to watch the Raiders in the stadium now. But we just had SummerSlam at Allegiant Stadium for the WWE. And then they did not force the vaccination for the fans for the WWE. They did not force that. So I don't think it's a stadium decision. I think it's an owner of a team or a company decision. That's why Mark Davis did it with Intermountain Healthcare and whoever else. But WWE SummerSlam was just there this past weekend on Saturday night. And you could still wear a mask. You didn't have to be vaccinated. But when WWE goes to New York, they made a vaccination mandate for SmackDown for WWE. But at SummerSlam, at Allegiant, Vegas Stadium, whatever you want to call it, you still could have worn just masked and watched SummerSlam. But you can't do it for the Raiders. That means the Raiders, Mark Davis, and some other people are calling the shots for the Raiders, like Intermountain Healthcare and the pharmaceutical industry, not Allegiant Stadium. Allegiant Stadium wants to make more money with their parking and this and that. They don't care if you wear a mask or vaccinated or not. They want people in there. So the more people that are, if you only have to wear a mask, the more people will go. So Allegiant Stadium doesn't care. So they're not involved in these decisions like Mark Davis and all that other is. So that proves manipulation by other people in the Raiders organization, or the people that made the training facility like Intermountain Healthcare, or the governors, or the pharmaceutical industry, or if even some people in the NFL. Here's one interesting thing that happened to the stadium during SummerSlam. It was reported that during SummerSlam, the cashless payment system was down. And I think that's freaking ridiculous. Cashless payment system. So that proves a problem there. The Rams Stadium, SoFi Stadium, had a cashless payment system as well. I couldn't even buy a hot dog or whatever with cash. We pulled out money from ATMs, and they know you have to use the card. Why? They get more information and data when you use your card. But the cash payment system was down during SummerSlam. The concessions were stopped because they couldn't, run the credit cards. The Wi-Fi went dead. Apparently the toilets were overflowing. The PA announcement system was not working properly. And no pyrotechnics, for the wrestling people to enter the stadium or whatever that. He wrote hashtag WrestleMania, but it was SummerSlam. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. That's a failure for the stadium. And I saw somewhere on Twitter, I forgot to copy the post, but somebody wrote that the unvaccinated Raider fans hacked the stadium in defiance. The unvaccinated Raider fans that are pissed off hacked the Raider Stadium in defiance. It's pretty funny. Now you understand this poll. A lot of you tuned out. A lot of you are mad at me for all my hot takes. But it looks like 60% of Raider fans from my poll don't care about vaccination status. They're vaccinated. They love it. They love being told what to do. They love giving up their freedoms, their rights. They believe everything is going to kill them. Apparently the majority, 60-40, believe that. So nothing I can do. All I can do is give you my opinion, my thoughts, and I'll leave it at that. All right, we're coming right back with some Raider tax issues. Oh, more problems for our Raiders. for people that watch this entire show. I love you. I thank you. I talked about vaccines and mandates for like an hour and 10, 15 minutes. That's too long. Most people don't care. But hey, I had a lot to get out. This is therapy for me. Sometimes when Mikey Raider gets pissed off, I need to throw out what I'm dealing with and how I'm feeling. Because again, I might not be able to watch a Raider game in the new stadium for my lifetime, depending on the vaccine mandates, forever. They say it's only 1 year so far, or they don't know. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know how long it'll last. I am immunocompromised. I have a really bad immune system, my white blood cells. So my doctor, a couple months back, like 4 months ago, said, I do not recommend the vaccine for you at this moment because it could cause problems and make you sicker. But he said, you don't want to get COVID either. That could kill you, get you sicker. He goes, in that case, I would recommend the vaccine. But I also understand your fears, your point of view, and we don't have all the information about the vaccine. So I also would not recommend it for you at this moment. So I'm in a weird place. But he validated my reasons for not wanting to get it, because I should have said this in the earlier segment, but my dad went in at 88 years of age, went in for a doctor visit or a hospital checkup. Then they asked him about, have you had your flu shot? Have you had your shingles vaccine? Your this, that, whatever. And long story short, they gave my dad the flu vaccine. They call it the flu shot, but it is a vaccine. It's an every year vaccine to hopefully prevent and help with the flu. But my dad got the flu vaccine, the flu shot, whatever it was at that moment. We went home. He got really sick within a week. Then a week passed, and it turned into pneumonia. So we took him. He fell and hit his head while we were not looking, so he had a cut on it. We took him into the hospital. Then, 3 months later, this is in 2017. Then three months later, he was dead. So you guys can believe whatever you want. I know my dad was old. But I believe the flu shot gave him the flu, the virus, gave him the COVID, basically. That he ended up on a ventilator. And the vaccine killed my father. The flu vaccine, flu shot killed my father. That's how I look at it. They called it heart disease and all the damn procedures they did on my dad. You know, the ventilators, the this, the that. All from the pneumonia that was given to him. Killed my father. And that's all I'm going to say about that. That's another reason why I can't stand that we don't have freedom of choice for the vaccine. I mean, we do, but they're trying to force it so much. Even to go to work and make money in the future, I might have to be vaccinated against my wishes. Even to get on a plane, to travel, to have fun, to live life, I might be forced to be vaccinated against my wishes. Let's leave it at that. This is Raider Football Talk. I'm your host, Mikey Raider. Don't forget to hit up that hotline. Leave your takes. Leave your opinions on anything we spoke about today. No holds barred. And you will be on next week's show. All right. Let's get into some more Raider news. And let's get into the season coming up. Let's finally start the show. Well, the Raiders are facing serious stadium tax implications that led to recent departures, according to this report. We had a bunch of staffers, like Mark Bedane and other people, retired just recently. I was typically thinking it was because of the vaccine mandates that we've been talking about, but it might be due to other reasons of a tax situation with the IRS and fraud. Breaking, 2 NFL insiders have told me Raiders are facing very big tax implications from money not reported as income, and this behind the departure of some of the Raiders staff in recent weeks. Former Raiders controller who left the team in July amid resignations of other business exec denies involvement in any financial impropriety. Former Raiders controller Alexi Grant, a business executive who left the NFL team July 19th, sent a statement to Las Vegas Sports Biz on Monday saying, "I have never been involved in any financial impropriety or wrongdoing before or during my 20-month tenure with the Raiders." Mark Bourdain and other people like that, Brendan Dahl, Dan Ventrell, Ed Villanueva, retired or left the Raiders. So apparently something happened with the disclosure of money when the Raiders were moving, what they were buying, and how everything was being reported while they were building the stadium or moving into the stadium. So the IRS is looking into it. Trust me, there's already been, if this is coming out on the news, there's already been letters by the IRS that they were audited or whatever. And you don't mess with the IRS. I'm paying the IRS every month as well for a couple mistakes on my taxes. So you don't mess with the IRS. But this is a serious situation. And this just shows you how the Raiders company as a whole has been running. Not only are we not winning on the field, we're losing stadium votes to go to LA. Mark Davis did everything he could to get a new stadium, and now he's being controlled by the masses to force vaccination on his teams. And then the people that helped the Raiders get the new stadium, they're now resigning. Why? Because there's possibly IRS audits. People might go to jail, and they think by retiring or getting out before the S hits the fan that they might not be involved. But they're going to get audited no matter what, regardless if they're still with the Raiders or not. So this story is going to get interesting. And I don't want it to be. But this could be a story that lasts the whole year and gets a little bit more interesting toward the end of the year, like December, January, as it gets closer to tax time. So this might prove the reports that the Raiders were broke. Remember, before the Raiders were moving to Vegas in the final years in Oakland, there was reports that the Raiders were broke. That they didn't have a lot of money. Mark Davis didn't even have a lot of money because we're one of the poorest teams in the NFL. So if this is true, this might prove why we're poor. People were either stealing money, lying about it, or they tried to get more money from Mark Davis or anybody by falsely admitting their finances to the IRS last year or whatever in the move to the stadium. Money was being switched around and not reported, or being reported as a tax write-off or something. I don't know. But this might prove the Raiders and Mark Davis were broke. And the people working with them possibly did some shady stuff to gain some money, whether it be personally or for Mark Davis and the team. All right, a lot of people not going to like this subject. I love Derek Carr. I think he's the best Raider quarterback in our history. I'm proud he's on this team. I think he's a good/great at times quarterback, and I love this dude. And this is his year. He should be the MVP of the league, and I'm hoping for it, and I'm praying for it, and it should happen. But a lot of people hate on Derek Carr. My boy Byron95 Live made a video on why Derek Carr is possibly the most hated quarterback in the NFL. And he said it's because, the Raiders moved and I don't know whatever reasons he wrote. I'll put it in a description somewhere where you can watch the video. But in 2016, the entire Raider team loved him. They said he's hated because he hasn't went to the playoffs or won a playoff game or played in a playoff game. There's multiple reasons for it. He's religious. A lot of people hate that. A lot of people do. They want to keep religion out of football. On some occasions, he caused a stir. Derek Carr, again, with the gay issue that came up recently, he's not really for gay people. He says he loves them. In the Washington game, there was rumors that he didn't kneel with the team during the national anthem because he didn't want to. He'll only kneel for God. That might have created division. That was 2018, 2017. So a lot of reasons why Derek Carr is hated. I think the biggest reason why he's hated is for a lot of those little things that he does and the way he talks in the media, and he says the same old thing. He's going to get better, do better, but it never does. So for that reason, a lot of people hate him. But a lot of people love him like me. But I'm starting to sour on his history with the Raiders. A lot of quarterbacks come into the league and just automatically make players better. I don't think Derek Carr did that. And if you want to keep giving Derek Carr excuses, he didn't have the right players, he didn't have the right coaches, our defense sucks, every year it's a new system, I get that. Derek Carr balls out. Derek Carr can play in any system, deal with any coach, deal with any player, and be a good quarterback in the NFL. Top 15. Every year. And if he was on another team in previous seasons with a better team all around, he would be in the playoffs. And he'd probably win playoff games. He might have even went to a Super Bowl. But he's on our team, our dysfunctional team, with Gruden, the players throughout the years, whether it be Dennis Allen, Reggie McKenzie, everything. Our dysfunctional team with new players coming in and out the door, the Gruden purge, blah, blah, blah. Derek Carr has excelled through all of those obstacles. But Derek Carr is missing something. Some call it chutzpah. Some call it energy. Some call it passion. The entire team rallied around Derek Carr and believed in him in 2016. That's why when he broke his leg, we all knew it was over. Every Raider fan, every Raider player, even on the field. Oh, God, it's over. It's over. We lost our guy. We lost our GOAT. But ever since then, not saying he hasn't played well or bounced back, but the passion from the players and all that haven't been as much. He got new players every year, but he typically is missing something. And I know he's trying to find it. But he does good every year. He does possibly around 3,800 to 4,000 yards every year under Gruden. Does 25 to 28 touchdowns every year under Gruden. But you need 35, brother. You need at least 32 to 35 touchdowns a season. And a better defense. But you need at least 32 to 35 touchdowns, bro. To really help us win more. But you're missing something. I don't know what it is. And you're typically not making players greater. I don't know. Because they see the passion from you that they become better? I don't know. You're a system quarterback. You're I play within the system. If the guy's open, I throw it to him. You don't take too many chances because Gruden doesn't want you to. You're a system quarterback. But it just hurts me to think that I'm starting to shower on you. Because other teams are going up in the rankings. Other teams are looking better. And they've had a quarterback for 1 year, 2 years. And they're already being talked about as better quarterbacks than you in their first year, like Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert's going to suck this year. He's not going to do as good as he did last year because the NFL wasn't ready for him and they didn't know him. Now they do. So the NFL teams are going to fix game plans for him or against him, and they're going to mess him up a little bit. But long story short, I mean, he had like 35 touchdowns. We got player like Patrick Mahomes, 35 touchdowns. We got player like, who else threw 30-something touchdowns? I don't know, but it was a few of them. Derek Carr, you need to do that. You need to take chances. Justin Herbert came in there. He's like, screw it. I got to make this team. I want to be the starting quarterback. So he went against the game plan and did what he needed to do. Regardless of the players he had. He only had Keenan Allen. Whatever. Oh, we only had Henry Ruggs. We only had Hunter Renfrow. We got Darren Waller, bro. And you ball out with Darren Waller. But you got to find somebody else. You got to make other players better, Derek Carr. You got to score more touchdowns, bro. You got to find that passion. I don't know how you do it. You got to find balance somehow. Because I'm starting to shower on you, brother. And all the talk is that Gruden's going to replace you and this and that. But I'm telling you right now, it's not all your fault. It's not. But you're missing something. Because other teams are progressing, and we're like basically staying the same. And again, it could be everything but you, Derek Carr. But you got to look internally, and you got to try something different. You may succeed, you may fail, but you're missing something. And players are not getting better around you, truthfully, that much. And you only lean on 1 or 2 players every year because you don't trust in the other players enough due to their lack of knowledge in the game. Maybe they don't get open properly. I don't know. But man, make some stuff happen like Aaron Rodgers or whoever. Please, Derek Carr, make some stuff happen. Make some stuff happen. Something is missing, and we need to find it. That's my take on Derek Carr. All right, the NFL is gay. Carl Nassib came out as the first active NFL player that was gay, even though Michael Sam was the first player to do so in the draft a few years back. Then he was released from the Rams. I think he got picked up by another team, maybe the Panthers, for a couple weeks, and then he was released and probably never to play a game again in the NFL. He might have played in the AFL, the XFL, whatever. I do not know. But he's out of the league. They rushed him out of the league. The league was not woke at the moment. They didn't want to be woke at that moment. They didn't want to face the backlash that they were at that moment with Michael Sam. But it's a new era. The NFL is gay. The NFL is woke, whatever you want to call it. And Carl Nassib announced that he is gay. I have no problem with it. Not going to discuss it any further beyond the fact that Derek Carr did not say publicly that he is for gay people. But he did indirectly say to reporters that he loves Carl Nassib. He didn't say he approves. He said he loves him. That was interesting. But I'm going to give you a hot take from my point of view. That's why I'm going to eat a hot Cheeto. Carl Nassib is not the best player on the Raiders. He was signed a couple years back by Gruden. They've made a lot of mistakes in free agency. Carl Nassib is possibly one of them from the Cleveland Browns. He didn't play very good last year. He was benched twice. Didn't even shoot up 3 times last season. Rumors were that he would be cut maybe during or after training camp this year. So right before training camp started, the announcement came out from him that he is gay. Well, if he was going to be cut, or if he's rumored to be on the cut list, that announcement kind of proves that the Raiders cannot cut him. How bad it would look for today's NFL, for the Raiders, to cut the first active player that comes out as gay. It'd be a PR nightmare for the Raiders. So Carl Nassib basically is getting $5 million this year, and he made that money by telling the world he's gay. Because if he was cut, not all that money was guaranteed. He might not get on another NFL team. But now he forced his way onto the team. That's my opinion. Not that he forced himself, but he thought he might get cut or his future was in the balance. Plus, he wanted to make a statement, and I understand that. I'm proud of you, brother. But he guaranteed that $5 million, and he'll at least be on the team this year. And then maybe if he doesn't play so great or do a lot of things in the game when he does play, like get an interception, a sack, whatever. If he has a good season, the media is going to make him his darling. Then he'll probably get paid by another NFL team or whatever, or by the Raiders again in the future. But if he doesn't play that much and he doesn't do anything spectacular when he gets on the field, the media is not going to pay attention much longer, and then he'll probably silently be cut next year and won't be a Raider moving forward. But that's my theory on Carl Nassib and with the Raiders. So now we know that football is gay. Look at the NFL alphabet logo. The NFL came out after Carl Nassib announced he's gay. They decided to become woke 100% and create a commercial that said football is gay. You know, I don't know what else it said, but it just said everything is gay. And this is their little Twitter announcement. If you love this game, you are welcome here, whether you're an alphabet letter person or not. The reason why I'm not saying the letters is I believe it's against Twitch or YouTube's policy, or you get flagged. So I'm saying alphabet. It's not derogatory. If you love this game, you are welcome here. Football is for all. Football is for everyone. I'm even worried to say the word gay. Football is for all. Football is for everyone. The NFL stands by the community today and every day. For more information, go to the Trevor Project. Man, the NFL, politics, and going woke is starting to piss me the F off. Starting to piss me the F off, y'all. Remember this statement, and I believe it's true. As a company, if you go woke, you go broke. That's all I'm going to say. All right, we're going to come back. We're going to go over the roster. Who's going to be cut at the end of training camp? Who's going to make the squad? And we'll be right back. I'm ready for football talk. Oh, yeah, what's good, Raider Nation? You are now 2 hours into this long show of Raider Football Talk with me, your host, Mikey Raider. It says it on the shirt. It makes it true in life. This is Raider Football Talk, your weekly dive into Raider hot topics, Raider latest news, a little bit of game summaries, but most importantly, a lot of my opinions and fun. Please hit up that hotline so your phone calls will be on a future show where I can critique you, I can listen to it on air, and we can discuss. Please call up that hotline, leave some information, and we will get into it. All right, the preseason is basically almost ending. We're also coming up on the final cut down day for rosters. So the Raiders got a lot of players that are inspiring in preseason, and let's just kind of come up with who I believe will make the team and who is on the bubble and who may or may not be cut. Let's take a look at the Raiders roster and the possible final roster when the Raiders have to cut down from 80 to 55, I believe it is, within about a week before the season begins. First off, there was a lot of retired players in the NFL in general this year. Is it due to vaccine mandates, COVID? I do not know. But it's very interesting because the Raiders had 3 of them. Apparently James Onawalu retired. Running back Theo Riddick retired. And veteran Sam Young, the offensive tackle, retired as well. Who knows why and for what reasons, but it's kind of interesting that around the NFL, not only with the Raiders, there was a lot of players that retired. Makes you think. These players are on the Raider unable to perform, the PUP list as of now, or the non-injury football list, which may be the COVID list, according to the Raiders.com website. But I do believe they make the team. That's why they have a green arrow at their respective positions. So we got Divine Diablo, the Raider draft pick. I believe he makes the team, even though he's on the PUP. And Isaiah Johnson, the cornerback, the draft pick from a couple years back, I do believe makes the team at their respective positions. Then Kamal Seymour, he's a tackle. I also believe he makes the team as a backup or depth. Now let's start on the defensive side of the ball with all the players. All right, so Matt Dickerson, the defensive tackle, number 95. I don't believe he makes the team. He may be a practice squad or whatever. Again, I don't know that much about him. But the ones in the red arrows, they could be practice players or cut from the team or whatever, from my opinion. Jonathan Hankins, starter, makes the team. Quentin Jefferson, probably a starter, makes the team. Gerald McCoy, I still think he makes the team, even though he hasn't played that much, coming off an injury. He's got such a big name, a big veteran presence, that maybe we could use him as depth down the stretch when he's a little more healthier. I believe he makes the team. Darius Philion, who's been on the team for a couple of years, I don't believe he makes the team or a practice squad. Or he might be a practice squad. Niall Scott, same thing. Darius Stills, same thing. Then Solomon Thomas, coming off an injury. Some might think he doesn't make the team, but I saw him play a little bit so far in the preseason. Plus, his upside is huge. So I could see him making the team. Now let's go to defensive edge rusher. Max Crosby makes the team. Cleveland Farrell, they've been using him at defensive tackle recently. But he can go anywhere, as a depth player. And he is a depth player. I don't think he's a starter right now, according to the Raiders. So that kind of sucks to get a draft pick that they all said was too high, that we drafted him to possibly be the backup or second string in your second year. But he's a good player. I'm not saying he's bad, but just he hasn't lived up to the potential of where he was possibly drafted. But if he's a good football player for many years to come, whether it be second string or occasional starter, so be it. I believe he makes the team, which we all know he will. Gary Green, do not believe he makes the team or practice. He might make practice squad. Malcolm Kuntz has played pretty good this preseason. I see him as possibly taking over for the Cleveland Farrell spot and the Max Crosby spot. They might go in and out, or the Yannick Ngakoue spot, depending on the situation. They mix and match. Carl Nassib, again, they're not going to get rid of him. He makes the team. Yannick Ngakoue, stud, makes the team. And then I kind of had differences on Kendall Vickers. I believe he makes the team, and this is all depending on the injuries to the other players I just mentioned. But Kendall Vickers is a good player. I believe he makes the team, but I put the red arrow because he could be a casualty, but he could end up being on the practice squad as well. That was an interesting one that I really didn't know the answer to with Kendall Vickers. Now let's look at the linebacker side of the ball. Asmiar Bilal does not make the team, or he could be practice squad. I do not know. Tevon Cooney, I believe he makes the team. Some might say he's going to be practice squad because he's an undrafted from a couple years back that was practice squad last year. But I think he might make the official team this year. Nick Kwiatkowski makes the team. Darren Lee does not make the team or a practice squad, or maybe he makes practice squad. Corey Littleton makes the team, high-price free agent. Nicholas Morrow. Now, the reason why I put Tevin Cooney makes the team is possibly because of these injuries that we're going to speak about. I don't know Nicholas Morrow's injury right now from the game the other day with the Rams, but of course he makes the team if he's not injured out for the season. Or Tevin Cooney might replace him. And then Tanner Muse has been playing a lot, and he makes the team. Max Richardson, I don't think he makes the team. He didn't look that good to me when I saw him in preseason. But and then Javon White got injured. Some are fearing he's out for the season. But he should make the team if he wasn't injured. He was balling out. But again, Javon White might be lost for the season. So a player like Tevon Cooney, another undrafted player like Javon White, might play or take his space. So that's my results with linebackers. Now let's go to the cornerback side of the ball. All right, Damon Arnett did not play the other day. I guess there's an injury there as well. But he makes the team. Casey Hayward, our free agent, makes the team. Nate Hobbs, 5th round, 4th round, whatever it was, balling out. Gruden basically gave him the game ball last week versus the Rams, which basically says, hey, kid, no matter where you were drafted, you made the team. Nate Hobbs makes the team, whether it be nickelback or starting cornerback is to be seen. Nevin Lawson's been with the Raiders for a couple of years, keeps coming back to our team. I believe this is the final year where he does not make the team and he is released. I don't think he'll take a practice squad spot. Because you got to remember, if the Raiders release a player, they can be picked up by another team, practice squad or whatever, or get a contract before they can come back to the Raiders practice squad, if no offers. So I believe Nevin Lawson is gone. Trayvon Mullen makes the team. Keyshawn Nixon, another draft pick that they believe in, whether he's playing good or not. He still makes the team because he's a draft pick. Then Amik Robinson, who was injured almost all of last year, we still got to see anything from him, and he's a draft pick that they believe in still. So he makes the team. Then Badi Ray Wilson, I don't believe he makes the team, or he's a practice squad invite, which we do not know. Now let's look at the big position of note, in my mind, the last line of defense. We're talking about our safeties. Jonathan Abram makes the team, but they've been using him in the preseason as second string. I know he's technically probably the starter, and they just want to get some game film and him to play a lot to learn, but he technically was mostly second string in this preseason. Maybe due to injuries to Carl Joseph or whoever else, but you would think that they would have played, like, in the second quarter or third quarter, they would play Dalen Levitt and Trayvon Morgan. But they did have Jonathan Abram in there in, I think, both of the games till the second quarter. Pretty interesting. But he's probably the starter. I'm not going to worry about it. Carl Joseph is on the team as backup. Dalen Levitt will make the team again. He's a good player. The Raiders love him. Trayvon Morgan, the draft pick, makes the team. Tyree Gillespie, even though I believe he's a draft pick, I think he might be cut. It's kind of weird to say that, but he might make practice squad, but I think he's a cut casualty. Then Roderick Teamer, I think he's cut as well. All right, let's look at the offensive side of the ball from here. Maybe you guys agree with my opinions. Maybe you don't. It's okay. Please hit that like, that thumbs up, that subscribe button if there is any. Leave some comments below so I can read them when we're done. Derek Carr makes the team. Marcus Mariota makes the team. Nathan Peterman makes the team. So you got one big green arrow. I'm really sad that I didn't see Marcus Mariota in week 2 live, but I'm impressed with what I saw from Peterman, getting some playing time, getting better. I'm really hoping to watch Derek Carr in week 3 of the preseason, at least a little bit. But none of these players get cut. Let's look at the center position. And this is very interesting because we got Andre James. He looked pretty good. He had some mistakes in the preseason. Nick Martin looked good in the first game. Nick Martin looked really bad in the second game. And then Jimmy Morrissey played a lot in the second game versus the Rams. And boy, he got beat a ton. He's a 7th round draft pick. But here's the truth. I think all of these players make the team. But I believe Jimmy Morrissey will be on the practice squad as depth for the future. Because anything can happen to these centers. You know, anything can happen. And if Andre James or Nick Barton or any of them get injured, you're going to need Jimmy Morrissey, your draft pick, on the roster or at least practice squad to bring him up. So even though I got the arrow that he'll be cut and then he'll be offered practice squad. And unless some other team picks him up, that's what I believe will happen for Jimmy Morrissey. Now let's look at the offensive guard position. Lester Cotton Sr. came back to the team. He makes the team. He looked okay in the preseason so far. Week 3 is going to be a big thing. Denzel Good makes the team. Richie Incognito makes the team. John Simpson makes the team. Then Jar Jones-Smith, again, either one of these players that I'm going to mention could be practice squad for depth. But Jar Jones-Smith is cut. Patrick Omama is cut or practice squad. And their depth, did you notice? They could play tackle as well. That's why one of them might make practice squad because they're valuable as depth for other positions. Now let's look at the official tackle positions from Raiders.com. Devery Hamilton, I believe he's cut. Or maybe he makes practice squad depending on what they think of him. But Alex Leatherwood, the draft pick, makes the team. Colton Miller makes the team. And Brandon Parker makes the team. Let's look at the running back situation. And we have some surprises here that I did not notice, 3 months back. Kenyon Drake, we all know, makes the team. Then we had players that looked pretty good in the preseason so far, like B.J. Emmons and Garrett Groshek. But I believe both of them will be cut in the final results. Either one of them could possibly be put on practice squad. They've looked that good to me. Josh Jacobs makes the team. And then here's the interesting story that I did not see happening. First off, Jalen Richard got a contract a couple years back. Gruden, the team loves him. He does and says all the right things. But he's injured. So that left an open spot possibly for the third string running back beyond Kenyon Drake and Josh Jacobs to do some things. That's where B.J. Emmons, Garrett Groshek, and Trey Vegas, or should I call him, and Trey Vegas, come in. Well, Trey Vegas has looked fantastic. Fantastic behind that O-line. Even when they're making mistakes, our running offensive line is balling out. Our run game is going to be much, much dominant this year. Trey Vegas makes the team. No doubt. And Jalen Vegas might be on the injury report for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, the PUP, the IR, whatever you want to call it. But he still makes the team. He ain't going to be cut unless the injury is that bad that he can't play this whole year and then his contract is over. You might as well release him if the injury is that bad. So the Raiders, on the official roster, of course, one of them will probably go to IR or whatever. But depending on how many players now they could have on IR, blah, blah, blah. But I believe the Raiders hold 4 running backs and the fullback, Alec Ingold. I know I'm not even going to mention fullbacks. Alec Ingold is the fullback that makes the team. The other fullback that we got rowing, it might be a practice squad player or running back that we keep for practice squad. But man, Trey Vegas, interesting. I like what I see from that young man. Now, let's look at another interesting position, the tight end. We all know who our starters are. But I believe the Raiders hold 4 tight ends on the official roster. Not practice squad, talking the official roster. The truth is, one of them will be practice squad or not dress or whatever the situation is. But I believe these 4 players make the roster. My namesake, Nick Bowers. My last name is Bauer, not Bowers. But it's awesome to have a player on the team named Nick Bowers. If you put an M there, it becomes like Mike Bauer. Like me. But I believe he makes the team. He caught a couple of passes in the preseason. Matt Bushman, I don't know. I don't think he makes the team at all. Derek Carrier makes the team. He's that good, knows the system, makes big plays when called upon, makes the team. Alex Ellis has looked decent, blocking-wise as well, but I don't think he makes the final roster. We got Foster Moreau, the draft pick from a few years back, coming off of an injury or two. Still looking good, getting better. Then we got Darren Waller. But I believe we have 4 tight ends on the roster. 4 tight ends on the roster. Because if any one of those players get injured, whether it be like Foster Moreau or Derek Carrier, you're going to need Nick Bowers to play. Because the Raiders use a lot of 2 tight end sets with Gruden. So if you only filled a roster of 3 tight ends in a game, which they might do a lot, like I said, if one of those tight ends go out, then you have to bring in the other tight end, and basically they're the starting lineup. But if a second tight end is out for a play or two, then you got to put Alec Ingold in there or something like that. But they're going to keep 4 tight ends. They're going to keep 4 tight ends. All right, let's go to the wide receiver roster. And we're going to have some interesting decisions here. Marshall Aitman caught a touchdown or 2 in the preseason. Been with the Raiders for years. Everybody loves him because he loves to eat, man. He ate this weekend versus the Rams. But I think this is finally the end for Marshall Aitman. I believe he will be cut. And again, depending on if another team signs him so he can make some money, the Raiders would definitely offer a practice squad spot for Marshall Aitman. But again, I don't know if he's going to come back if another team doesn't request him off of waivers. But he will be cut. Then we got John Brown, free agent, coming in. He makes the team. I haven't seen him at all during the preseason. Keelan Dosh is another interesting cut. Been with the team for a few years. Plays his heart out. But I believe he'll be cut. That's why I have the pink star next to them, because they might go to another stupid team. But if they become available and they're not picked up off of waivers after they are cut, I guarantee you with Marshall Aitman and Keelan Dosh, the Raiders would offer a practice squad placement for both of them or either one of them. Remember the history with Marshall Aitman when he got picked up by the Jaguars? That was funny. Or was that Keelan Dosh? I think it might have been Keelan Dosh, but interesting story. Brian Edwards makes the team. I thought Zay Jones was going to be cut. I literally thought Zay Jones would be cut. I thought he was one of the players that would be cut before this training camp started. But man, he making plays. He making plays. He looked that good. And he was with the starting lineup in week 1 and week 2. Caught a couple of balls. He making plays. He looks good. He makes the team. Maybe the last wide receiver on the team, but he makes the team. Then we got Hunter Renfrow, third in Renfrow. Henry Ruggs makes the team. Then Willie Snead. Some might think he doesn't make the team. I haven't seen him in the preseason. I don't know what's going on. Does he have an injury? I do not know. I haven't been following as closely as many of you think I should. But I believe he makes the team. I mean, he's Willie Snead. Then we got Dylan Stoner, DJ Turner. I believe both of them are cut. And depending on Marshall Aitman and Keelan Dosh, if they come back to the practice squad, Dylan Stoner or DJ Turner would be the players that would come back to the Raiders practice squad. If Marshall Aitman or Keelan Dosh are picked up by another team and or do not come back to the Raiders practice squad, it'll be Dylan Stoner or DJ Turner. So there it is. We basically start the season with 6 wide receivers on our roster. Some would think that we only have 5. And on some days, depending on positional value on other sides of the ball, a player like Zay Jones or whatever might not dress for one game or something like that, you know, to have a positional value for another spot open. But there it is. That's my predictions for the final 55. I didn't add the numbers up. I do not know if they equaled 55 players. I do not care. But it was fun doing it. And I had a good time. All right, y'all. Let's talk about some ridiculous hypocrisy that just came back to hit the Raiders in their butt. Remember when John Gruden became a Raider coach? And then 9 days before the season began, he traded Khalil Mack. Well, this is what we just find out. Right before free agency, the Raiders inquired about the services of Khalil Mack coming back to the Raiders as a free agent and how much it would cost. What? We heard that rumor at the time. Many of us didn't believe it was true. But now we have the official confirmation from many NFL and Chicago reporters. The Raiders targeted Yannick Ngakoue when free agency opened. But before Vic Tafur reports that they made a call to Chicago before free agency opened. They made a call to Chicago to see if they could help the Bears out with their salary cap problems and trade for Khalil Mack. So Gruden was said to not have liked Khalil Mack. Didn't want to spend the money on him. Thought they could get better players in free agency or use the draft picks for better players. And kind of replace Khalil Mack. Well, let's be honest. Early on, we thought the Raiders won that trade. Now looking back at all the draft picks and all the players that come across, only to get Yannick Ngakoue on a what, 17, 18, 19 million dollar a year deal that we got him for? That might not be the true amount, but I'm going to stick with it. When we probably could have had Khalil Mack for around that price, 19 million, 20 million a year. Now looking back, did we really win that trade? Our defense has not gotten better. Our sacks have gotten worse. I know Max Crosby was like a player that had as many sacks as Khalil Mack did in his first year. And he's looking okay, but I don't know if he was basically picked up in the draft because of it was one of the draft picks we got for trading Khalil Mack. So we could have gotten Max Crosby, you know, without trading Khalil Mack in the draft maybe. I know Josh Jacobs was one of the players we got for the Khalil Mack draft picks from Chicago. So that helped out because he's a nice running back. But all in all, I don't think we won that trade. Earlier on, maybe a year or so ago, I thought we did. We did not. Cleveland Farrell was one of the draft picks we got as well early on, just not panning out. I don't think we won that trade anymore. Because now we're trying to get him back. And still for around 17 to 20 million. Look, let's be honest. Khalil Mack's price tag has went down. But he's still on the deal with Chicago where they're paying him like $21 million a year, whatever it is. So we would have to give some draft picks to get Khalil. And then we might not have to take on the entire 21 million, but we would probably take on the 17, 18, 19 million that we would have paid Yannick Ngakoue to get Khalil Mack back. So it's kind of weird that we traded him to get all this stuff and draft picks, and we didn't use them very well, and we haven't gotten better 3 years later. It just proves it was a bad choice. But many Raider fans also gave the excuse, F Khalil Mack. He didn't want to be a Raider. He didn't want to be a Raider. F him. He didn't want to be a Raider. Well, this is an interesting post, and let's think about this here. No Chill Manny wrote, if Khalil Mack didn't want to be here, or if Khalil Mack didn't want to be a Raider, as many of you said, then why did Gruden try to get him back? Again, if Khalil Mack didn't want to be a Raider, possibly because of John Gruden, or they hated each other, or Gruden didn't like Mack, and Mack didn't like Gruden, and Mack didn't want to be a Raider, if Mack did not want to be a Raider, or if Mack didn't like Gruden, and if Gruden didn't like Mack, then why would John Gruden try to get him back on our team? Makes you think, don't it? Because Gruden will look even more stupid by bringing Khalil Mack back. But Gruden, whether they had problems with each other, I do not know. But Gruden knows that Khalil Mack is the best thing for this Raider team to reunite him with Derek Carr, their best friends. And Khalil Mack was the glue for Derek Carr. Khalil Mack was like partially some of the glue for Derek Carr and a lot of the other Raider players. Interesting. All right, let's make fun of Mark Davis again. I told the boys if they win the Super Bowl, I will shave my Super Bowl off. You get it? If we make the Super Bowl, I'll shave my Super Bowl cut off. All right, this is an interesting question that I'd like to give my opinion on. How does Marcus Mariota fit in the Las Vegas Raiders' plans? Very interesting. Well, first off, if they plan for Marcus Mariota, he'll fit perfectly. Maybe not to Derek Carr's liking, but if the Raiders make a plan to use Marcus Mariota in different sets or systems or coming in on goal line or whatever for trickery, Marcus Mariota fits very well if they create packages for him with this Raiders team. But does he fit well for Derek Carr and his insecurity? No. Because a lot of Raider fans are soured on Derek Carr, and a lot of Raider fans like Marcus Mariota as well. Gruden likes Marcus Mariota too. Marcus Mariota can do some things that Derek Carr can't. And then Derek Carr can do some things that Marcus Mariota cannot. Like the long ball, the accuracy all the time. Mariota, I don't know how good of a long ball person he is, but he's got legs as well. And his accuracy is decent as well. If Marcus Mariota and Derek Carr were put together as one quarterback, it'd probably be Patrick Mahomes. Each other. The skill set that Marcus Mariota has and Derek Carr have complement each other. And if they were the same quarterback, man. But they're not. So they got to create packages for Mariota alongside Derek Carr. And Derek Carr has to accept it. Mariota will fit very well in the Raiders' plans if they plan to use Mariota and not coddle Derek Carr. All right. We got a big Week 3 preseason matchup versus the San Francisco 49ers at 49er Stadium, whatever it's called. I do not know if we're going to see Derek Carr. I do not know if we're going to see Mariota. We're probably going to see Nathan Peterman. But in my opinion, we have to see the first string offense and the defense as best as possible with players that are healthy to at least play a couple of series, whether it be on offense or defense. And all the young players that have been shining, we're going to find out if they truly make the roster, where they fit, and I'm looking forward to watching Nate Hobbs as well. But Nate Hobbs might be on a pitch count this week. Jonathan Abram will be on a pitch count. Hopefully we see Carl Joseph a little bit just to get their feet wet. Hopefully we see Trey Ragish a bit more, maybe even with the starting offensive line. I would like to see the official starting offensive line in there for like at least a quarter. I don't want no injuries, knock on wood. But I would like to see the starting offensive line in there for at least a quarter. With Alex Leatherwood and Trey Ragish maybe back there behind the starting offensive line. And Mariota behind the starting offensive line a little bit. I would love to see that. I would love it. And then defensive side of the ball, I'd like to see the starting defensive line a little bit. What they consider to be the starting defensive line for a couple of series as well. But they might not do that for Jimmy Garoppolo. But Trey Lance probably won't come in until the third quarter or second quarter. So you might not see the starting Raider defensive line versus Trey Lance, which that's what I want to see. But I'll take a Raiders defensive line versus Jimmy Garoppolo as well. I'll take that. So let me give you my prediction. This should be a run game. We've done all good in the run game this year in preseason. I think we should run it through the 49ers. But again, with our first string offense, the wide receivers, I want to see passing. I don't need to see anything out of Josh Jacobs. I would like to see a little bit of the passing game from Kenyon Drake with the first string offense. But I want to see more passing from the first string offense from like Derek Carr to Henry Ruggs or Brian Edwards. I want to see that in the first quarter. But it should be a run game for the rest of the second quarter, the third quarter, or when the backups come in. We can run through the 49ers defense. I know we can. So we should dominate with the run game. If I give you my final score predictions, I'm going to predict the Raiders win. We go 3-0 in the preseason. The Raiders win 20. Do we score 3 touchdowns? No. Yeah, we do. We scored 2 touchdowns. We scored 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. Raiders win 20. I'll give the 49ers 14. Raiders win 20-14 versus the 49ers. And that gets me to tell you that after this week's game, regardless of all the vaccine talk, all the criticisms I have with some of the players, with the team, with whoever, I'm a Raider fan. I'm going to be a Raider fan for life, even though I'm disgusted by the way the team has been run in recent years. And I'm disgusted by some of the decisions the organization has made as a whole and some of the people within the organization. And I do not like all the coaches and everything. I'm a Raider fan for life, and I'm very excited for this upcoming season. I love football, and it's sad to say that I may never be able to watch a Raider game in the stadium because of all this stuff. But I love football. I love my Raiders. And I'm a Raider for life. I'm excited for this NFL season with the Raiders. The Super Bowl is going to be at SoFi Stadium in 2022. And I'm making this prediction now. That Super Bowl will be the LA Rams versus the Las Vegas Raiders at SoFi Stadium in 2022. I'm Mikey Raider. Thanks for tuning in. I love y'all, and I'll see you on another show. Please like, subscribe, hit that Twitch button, and I'll see you again. Hit me up on Twitter, and I love you. This has been Raider Football Talk. I'm Mikey Raider, and guess what? I'm out.